Small business restructuring is a process that is available to directors under Section 453B of the Corporations Act. The Small Business Restructuring Process was introduced into the Australian insolvency framework from January 2021, and it is used to assist small businesses that are facing financial difficulty. The process allows small businesses to propose a plan to its creditors to restructure its debts while the director remains in control of the business. Prior to the small business restructuring legislation, there were limited options for directors to restructure their debts. Some of these options were to place the company into voluntary administration or a creditor's voluntary liquidation. Is my company eligible for the small business restructuring process? A director or a company board may, by writing, appoint a small business restructuring practitioner for the company if the eligible criteria for the small business restructuring is met, and the board has resolved to effect that, in the opinion of the directors voting for the resolution, the company is insolvent or likely to become insolvent, and a restructuring practitioner for the company should be appointed. So, what is the eligible criteria needed for the small business restructuring process? Well, for a company to be eligible for the small business restructuring process, they must meet the following. The company is incorporated with less than $1 million in liabilities. Be either solvent or likely to become insolvent at some future time. Be sustainably compliant with the payment of employee entitlements and tax lodgements. And the company or a director of the company must not have previously used either the small business restructuring process or simplified liquidation process within the past 7 years. So, what does the small business restructuring process involve? The process can be broken down into 3 phases, being the pre-appointment phase, the restructuring phase, and the plan phase. During the pre-appointment phase, the company appoints a small business restructuring practitioner to guide the director through the process. The practitioner will also assess the company to confirm its eligibility and recommend suitable solutions for the business. Next, during the restructuring phase, the director has 20 business days to come up with a restructuring plan, which is completed by the director with the assistance of the appointed restructuring practitioner. Once this plan is completed, the restructuring plan is sent out to the company creditors. Creditors are then asked to vote on the plan within 15 business days. If the majority of creditors, being over 50% in value that vote, agree with the plan, the restructuring plan will begin. If the majority of creditors do not agree with the plan, the company is free to proceed with a new simplified company liquidation process, voluntary administration, or another action. Lastly, during the plan phase, if the majority of creditors accept the plan will proceed. Often the plan will involve a one-off contribution from the director into a fund, and the restructuring practitioner will distribute the funds to creditors. The plan cannot exceed 3 years, and the company can continue to trade during this phase. As the director, am I still in control of the business? Yes. A big advantage of small business restructuring process is that the company's director retains control of the company throughout the process. The restructuring practitioner's role is to assist the director in formularizing and overseeing the plan as it takes effect. However, if the director wants to do something that is outside the ordinary course of business, the restructuring practitioner will need to approve the transaction. What does it mean by outside the ordinary course of business? If a transaction is outside the ordinary course of business, it may still be completed. However, the restructuring practitioner must approve the transaction. Some examples that may be regarded as outside the ordinary course of business can include payment of dividends to shareholders and paying a creditor whose debt arose before the appointment began. Here at Cathro and Partners, our team of qualified insolvency practitioners can help you with friendly and expert advice regarding the issues surrounding the small business restructuring process. The process allows small businesses to restructure their debts and enables them to survive in an always changing business environment. We encourage you to contact us on admin@cathropartners.com.au to find out more on how we can help your business.